horror movie fans, welcome to Cold and Trash Horror Movie Grinding Podcast. I am your host, Ian. This is the show in which we grind on the absolute worst horror and sci-fi movies we can find and make fun of just how bad they are, as well as praise the good, cool classics that have been lost throughout time. Now get ready, because we're about to dive real deep inside of Hollywood's dumpster in search of the good, the so bad it's good, and the fucking ugly. Now put on your seatbelt, grab a beer or two, and enjoy the show.
Yo, hello. Welcome back to the show. I'm Ian, and this is Videodrome, the excellent Cronenberg movie from 1983 or 4. Yeah, I don't do my research anyway. It's a good fun movie for the whole family. I've been meaning to do some Cronenberg on this show. This is a David Cronenberg film. We did Existence about 2 months ago. That was fun. That's actually probably my top 2 Cronenberg movies, and my other top 2 is this one, Videodrome. I think it's definitely a fan favorite among The Fly and Scanners, and those 2 are great as well. But Videodrome is definitely it's a crazy ass movie. Also known as the very first Black Mirror episode. Also known as James Wood's stomach vagina extravaganza. Also known as I don't know, a bunch of shit. I forgot what I was about to say. But hey, some other people are here. Ian, Jacob, Daniel, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. It's never been a pleasure to be here, but I show up every week that I can regardless.
Excellent. Because I have so much dirt on you. I'm just like, hey, I just blackmail you into joining the show.
That's pretty much what happens, yeah.
Yeah. What about you other 2 guys?
What about you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all kind of on the same wavelength right now, where it's just like we've hit the end of a long Friday and we're just like, fuck it, let's talk about some James Woods vagina stomach.
We'll get there. Trust me.
Yeah. And of course, we got SENM.
You like it? You like the name this week? Good one, right?
Hell yeah.
I thought I couldn't top Ian in a basket from last week's.
Yeah.
Ian A basket from basket case episode.
That was good. Yeah, you always like to throw a pun in there. You're very punny.
And as you'll tell from today's episode, words matter a lot to me, and I've paid very close attention to not just the words but the names used in this movie. And I believe I've unearthed something that might just blow the lid off this movie for the first time in 30 years. And I'll be happy to share it later on, but you got to stay tuned.
All right, can't wait.
I will.
Yeah, so this is starring James Woods. Daniel and Jacob, you've already known you're not new to this movie. In fact, Jacob, like you're like the guy that like I've known you from our friend Johnny's podcast, where like we both have been on it. He was supposed to join, but he chickened out.
Yeah,
he probably wouldn't like the movie anyway.
I don't know. Jacob, do you think Johnny would like this one?
I think he would. Probably, definitely the special effects the most, but I don't know.
Yeah,
he's very fickle.
He's the wild.
He's very petty. Yeah,
it's like I'd never know with that guy. He's like the biggest critical person, and that's why he has a podcast where he criticizes movies. Mm-hmm. But you and I have both been.
He's always wrong about everything.
Yeah. But yeah, you and I are both on. We've joined as guests on his show a lot of times, and then most of those times we geek out about Cronenberg movies and definitely Videodrome. So when I decided to do this one, I was like, well, I gotta get Jacob on it because we've nerded out about this before. And then you have your own podcast, Jacob and Reese versus Evil, of course.
Whenever it happens, I feel like it's almost like once a year at this point. It's okay. You should just replace it with just Jacob and Jacob does Jacob.
Yeah, you should do that.
The annual podcast.
That sounds very Cronenberg-esque. Like,
no, it's just we haven't had time to record or anything. It's just
for sure.
super busy, job switches and whatnot.
Yeah, that's a lot of that's going on with the channel here, Infamous Horror. A lot of the other shows other than mine are having trouble lately recording episodes. But
not us. We're here every week, tried and true. You can set a watch to it.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah,
I wouldn't do that, honestly.
We're here to
see what time it is right now.
Kick ass.
So, other Ian, SCNM, you last week when we started talking about this episode, you said that you thought you saw it, and then when we were starting here, you were like, maybe I didn't see it. So this is basically more or less your first time seeing this movie.
Yeah. I may just remember seeing a commercial for it. That's and I know you're saying, Ian, you're so young. How could you have possibly seen a commercial for this movie that came out in 1980?
3 or 4.
Yeah, that's what I said.
From 1981 to 1985.
Yeah, we got somebody. Can we please have somebody with the IMDb open? Just because this guy doesn't know what he's doing over here. But yeah, I mean, I really I think when I was a kid I probably saw it on IFC or something, but like just a clip of it or an ad for it. But then watching it now, I was left with a lot of questions, and the main question I asked throughout this film: which side are you on? Like I was asking the film, what side is the film on? I couldn't tell for the life of me for a hot minute if it was in support of S&M, of violence, of extorting this, or if it was trying to show the downside of it, that it's evil. And looking at Cronenberg videos, he doesn't give you much. I just do it for entertainment, So what is the real answer to that? That was a question that plagued me.
Yeah. It's basically, is that relevant to the story that's being told, or is it just Cronenberg being Cronenberg?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more coming at like, they got Debbie Harry over here, fucking cutting her shoulder, looking like the chick from Westworld when she played in 13. Fucking
nice. I like that reference.
Yeah,
I love Westworld.
What was her name? Never mind.
But yeah. It's interesting though, because when we're introduced to her, she's very, I guess, seems to be on one side, and she's in this like self-help like radio show.
Oh yeah,
she's helping people through their traumas, while completely not interested. And then like behind closed doors, she's like, "Yeah, cut me," and I want to be on the show where I get beat the fuck up and shit like that. And it's like, whoa, those are two complete extreme opposites.
Well, it seems like the TV station brought her in as a talking head to oppose the main character's viewpoints, James Woods' character, and he just starts hitting on her right away. That's a great scene too.
That was one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie. He just like ignores what he's supposed to be doing for the show. And just starts,
"Can I buy you a drink?
What are you doing for dinner tonight?"
Yeah.
Classic James Woods, man.
Yeah, apparently this is the most James Woods movie that he's been in, because like I heard that when they were filming this, like between cuts and everything, he was getting very paranoid. He was just like, you basically was the character, and he's like, they're gonna come for us, man.
Yeah, apparently he did a lot of ad-libbing on set too, and a lot of that made its way into the film.
So Daniel, before we started recording, you started saying that like you saw this movie a long time ago, and you just now rewatched it, but it's not the same movie that you thought you saw a long time ago. Apparently, that was Scanners.
Yeah, I got the two movies kind of crossed in my head, and I didn't think I was watching the wrong movie, but I kept waiting for scenes that didn't happen or ways that they didn't happen, and I realized that.
Daniel, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but did it confuse you so hard that your head just felt like it was going to explode?
Basically, and I kind of figured out towards the climax, a little bit before the climax of the movie, that I knew why, and it's because Cronenberg follows a lot of the same tropes in his movies, and you like all the way to the point where in the first betrayal scenes of James Woods' character going against Videodrome, he goes ahead and explodes somebody, which is just absolutely one of those scenes that I'm like, I thought that was in Scanners. Okay, this is I just put these two movies together completely, and it doesn't really hurt my feelings that I put it together completely, because there's even a few there's nods forward in time to movies like Existence, where Existence is probably the one that nods back. I think that one of my more favorite scenes of it, since the last movie that I reviewed with you guys was Existence, was when James Woods' character repeats, "Death to Videodrome, long live the new death," and it's New flesh. Oh, I can't really read that word. Yeah, that's probably flesh. As usual, my notes are terrible and missing at least one page. So, I absolutely saw Cronenberg all over this, and I'm like, okay, well, it's not really too much of a surprise that I got them mixed up, but maybe it's time for me to watch Scanners again too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what. Like, I definitely plan on reviewing Scanners at some point, so I'll bring you in for that.
I'd love to do that.
There's actually another movie I saw that came out somewhat recently, within the past decade, that's actually just like Scanners. So I'm going to do those two back to back. I forgot what it's called, but I'll figure it out.
Oh, that sounds great.
And then Jacob, what about you?
Just on Videodrome? I mean, this movie, oh God. As a kid, it was definitely one of those, kind of like how this movie revolves around snuff films to an extent. I feel like I saw this movie almost like a snuff film when I was a kid. Just be like, you'd see a lot of those special effects driven scenes. You'd be like, what the fuck am I watching? And it wasn't until, I don't know, like early 20s when I saw like the movie like all the way through, loved it. And even I haven't watched it as recent as Daniel or Ian, or as Ian, but I watched it like S&EM. I watched it like last month, and to me it still holds up really well. But like Daniel was saying, it's like you start recognizing all the things that Cronenberg uses throughout his films, like assassination subplots, a lot of even with his son, like Possessor is also very influenced by Videodrome, with just like how you can easily manipulate someone to do your bidding. And
I keep forgetting about that movie. Like, when I watched this movie, like I saw Existence first, and then I saw this movie. I was like, "Oh shit, this is just like Existence." And
that's way out of order for me.
I keep forgetting about Possessor.
And even Crimes of the Future, like there's a lot of elements in Crime of the Future that
I'm dying to see Crimes from the Future. Right now, it's at the time we're recording this. I don't know about by the time this comes out on YouTube, but by the time this is mid-July right now. Right now, it's for rent on Amazon for $20. And I'm like, I want to see it, but not $20 worth.
I mean, I really enjoyed it, but to like rent it for $20, maybe not. It's definitely.
So I'm waiting for it to come out on Hulu, which I heard that it's going to come out on Hulu.
Yeah, but no, still love Videodrome. The effects are still some of like the best I've ever seen.
Dude, they're like on the level of like The Thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and then also like I did, like when you were talking about like is it 83 or 84? Because like a lot of the effects in this definitely remind me of even like Wes Craven's like Nightmare on Elm Street, because he does the same sort of like
like
you know
TV
balloon, and like
yeah.
Freddy coming out of the wall, and I was like, oh man, I wonder if Cronenberg got it from Nightmare on Elm Street, and then it's like, oh hell no, Videodrome did it before Nightmare on Elm Street, and I think Videodrome's effects hold up even better than Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, not to dig on Nightmare on Elm Street, I fucking love that movie and that franchise, but like I still think Videodromes are almost seamless in the same way like a lot of the Thing's effects are, you know.
Right. Cool. But when I first saw it, I didn't see the whole movie at first. Many years ago, I want to say like 2014 or so. A buddy of mine, his name is Malachi. He showed me. He's like really into fucked up horror movies. And I went to hang out with him at his apartment, and he was like, "Dude, watch this." And it was this scene that was right behind me, and he was just like, and the problem was that I was really, 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 really high, and it fucked with me. Like, like, yeah, it's like he holds this tape that starts breathing, and he drops it, and the TV just starts breathing, and it's like lips come out, and it's like it's this whole thing about like he's having hallucinations, but he can't tell the difference between reality and hallucination, which a lot of those themes are throughout this movie, which we'll get into. But oh man, I did not have a good time.
Well, you know, from what I've heard, from other people, and my own personal research with hallucinogenic drugs from other people are using, what they tell me is that is that things start to warp like that on the walls and on maybe the tops of a TV or something. You start to get this warping visual, which I can only imagine helped influence the scene that you're talking about, and the overall theme of the
well, I
movie.
mean that wasn't happening to me specifically, but it was like the idea that like perception dictates reality, basically. And it's like that at that time, in those years, I was I was kind of paranoid about the idea of perception dictating reality. I was like, I don't know, I was younger, and I was smoking a lot, and I was just like,
and it was also the Matrix generation too. We were just like, what is real, man?
And like, yeah, I grew up on movies like the Matrix, the Truman Show, fucking Existential, and I was just like, I don't know. I just saw that one scene, that scene, and then the chest stomach scene where he just like opens up his stomach, and yeah, it really fucked with me. And so several years later, I watched the movie for the first time all the way through, and I was like, man, this movie's amazing. Anyway, I have the trailer for it right here. Let's check out the trailer.
Who's behind it? What do they want?
That's not who's behind it.
You.
If it had known at a heart of glass, should have found out at a heart of glass.
This is not the sort of trailer that you want to see.
This isn't the trailer that I saw.
Oh, it's not? This is two of the trailers that I saw.
I don't think this is a trailer at all.
Yeah, this is basically just a scene.
Yeah, I think your YouTube is broken. But look, there it is. There it is. The warping of existence.
Yeah. I played the wrong clip. This is not the trailer.
This definitely makes me want to unwatch the movie. Sorry, it's just uncomfortable. It's just straight uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean,
in the 90s, Wait,
this is relevant though.
Wait, uncomfortable. I'm horny right now. What are you talking about?
This is the scene I was
Everything-
talking about, though. This is
Dude, I
what
saw
I was
this
talking
scene.
about.
I saw this scene.
What?
And I thought everything can be a waterbed. Oh my god! How comfortable was that TV?
But
I am
yeah,
kind of glad that you played this now, though. Like, this shows exactly like that weirdness and uncomfortableness that you felt, and we're all here experiencing it in real time with you.
Thank God for Rick Baker.
All right, let's discuss how this was done practically, because this isn't CGI. That TV is breathing, right?
yeah.
Yeah, Daniel, tell us how that TV's breathing. What's going on?
It is really amazing.
No,
What
see,
is
so they did a couple really, really, really smart things. They inflated some kind of screen behind it. They're projecting from the rear and from the front at the same time because they're giving it that reflection on the outside. So it looks like you can see a light reflecting off of the screen in the same time that was an uncomfortable close-up. It looks like you can do that at the same time that he's able to push on the screen.
Daniel, the way you were analyzing it, I thought you were the one who was actually zooming in to show us.
Yeah, dude. Next time, just ride the telestrator. It felt like you were John, Madden over here with drawing out where the quarterback's going to go. You know what I'm saying? Like you were giving
That'd
it
be really
straight.
fun. That'd be a fun thing to be able to do on one of these podcasts. Just circle here, point over here.
Yeah. Well,
And if you look over here,
We're talking about Videodrome.
But yeah, so the practical effects we can all agree, are incredible.
fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, this is Rick Baker, American Werewolf in London. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy's got a crazy story too. I don't want to dive too deep, off a tangent here, but yeah, his whole thing where I think he started out, he would make masks as a teenager in high school. He would make his own masks, and then he started sending them in to different productions, and I can't remember what, I think it was like Twilight Zone or somebody. He would send in his masks, and some movie needed some masks, and so he used some of his existing ones. And boom, you got 30 years later, you got freaking Videodrome. And I think his story, that's a big cutting out a lot of parts of that story. But man,
yeah, absolutely. But
go look it up.
You get the important parts.
Yeah.
Now,
Kid starts in his basement, ends up a freaking legend.
What's really interesting that I like about this, I really enjoy / terrified of movies that use existential horror. Like, I mean, everybody knows that Cronenberg is famous for the body horror, but what's really amazing about this movie is not only is the body horror, and it's his best, well, besides maybe The Fly, his best body horror, but it's also got the existential horror and dread that's like I was saying earlier, you don't know what reality is. It's that's kind of the message that's being brought through, is like
Ian,
perception is
perception is
deal.
reality, right?
Yeah.
That's the main point. That's what Videodrome is able to do. It's this magic videotape like The Ring, but it changes what you perceive into being real, and it induces hallucinations.
But also because it's giving you a brain tumor, so it's like also giving you cancer.
No. Listen to Brian Oblivion. The hallucinations do not give you the tumor. Or no, the tumor does not give you
exactly what he said.
yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
But
well, it's opening up your pineal gland, I'm pretty sure, Ian.
Okay. And that, did anybody else get any? Because I think you could take the influence all the way back to what was that? What was that guy's name? H.R. Puffin stuff? No.
Yeah.
No. What was it? What was his name? Not with the flute, but with the author, the horror author from Beyond. Ian, help me out here. What was his name?
Here, I've got a cheat sheet for you.
Yeah. What is that? Lovecraft.
Lovecraft.
That guy.
Yeah.
H.R. Puffin stuff. H.P. Lovecraft. Whatever.
That's a great example.
I was teeing you guys up to tell me. Just
they call him Stay Puffed.
Oh no,
that's why I keep Daniel on this podcast, though.
Thank you.
He's always ready.
But going back to what you talked about, the pineal gland expanding, that was what was coming out of the TV at one point. In the later scene, there's and it looks just like that shit from Beyond. Yeah. So I wonder if H.P. Lovecraft had some kind of influence on
it's possible.
Cronenberg.
A lot of 80s movies were Lovecraftian. But anyway, what I was going to say though is that like not only is like existentialism like terrifying, but also very interesting to think about. And I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
um,
For example,
Ian,
does truth equal what you perceive? Is that your own? Does everybody have their own personal truth, or is there a single universal truth? And those are two sides of a coin that you can only pick one.
yeah, and so yeah, the message to this movie is that no, it's all about perception. Perception
Well,
dictates
not if you
reality.
ask Brian Oblivion.
Or
No,
actually,
that's
I think
exactly what he
it's
was saying.
I think it's more like Robert California in The Office, where he's just like everything is just sex.
That too. Yeah. Good point. But anyway, the what I'm trying to say is that what I like about that scene that we just watched is that it's hallucinations that's caused by a tape recording or a tumor, or either way it goes around. It's not like every other movie that's like a drug trip, because like everybody is like in a lot of movies it's all hallucinations or drugs,
Oh,
and this
oh,
is
but
like the one movie that's like it's trippy as fuck, and there's no drugs at all.
see, that's what you don't
It's a
understand.
different thing.
That's what you don't understand about the movie, Ian. TV is the drug.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I know. I'm talking about psychedelics though. Like there's it's not acid, it's not mushrooms, it's a different thing that is not a psychedelic or a pharmaceutical. But yeah, yes, TV is the drug, and that's where this turns into Fox News the movie,
So,
where
so
uh,
I'm sorry, Ian. You've given me a perfect launching point for my deep
no,
dive.
go
I
ahead.
hope, yeah. So our boy Brian Oblivion, okay, the who is based off of a a scientist named Marshall McLuhan, who had I think that's his name, which had basically had the same idea of the impact of television and of media on people and how that can be used to affect their behavior. We'll talk about that later. But the point I want to get to, Brian Oblivion, okay, the this man who he runs a church called the Cathode Mission, right? The Cathode
Also, the most
Mission.
on nose name, Oblivion,
Yeah.
too.
Oh, Oblivion, right? O comma
And
Oblivion.
cathode ray too.
And cathode, yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, the cathode tube is that which is inside of the old tube style televisions that you would see in this movie, or that you would watch this movie on if you were trying to be authentic.
The only way to play Smash Brothers, okay?
Yeah. It's got the red, yellow, and white connections. You plug them into the front. That's if it's a newer model. The older ones, you go through the RF cable. But getting beside the
do one of
point.
these.
Exactly. So I just want to set up Brian Oblivion's character. So it's based on this guy who thought that TV could control people's minds, that actually existed, and he runs this mission. He takes homeless people and he shows them TV so that they can incorporate themselves into society. Okay, and that was his method of saving these people, to say now they're weaving their way back into the fabric by watching TV and becoming a homogeneous mixture with everyone else that exists in this world. So that was his push, right? Now, he took
That's
something like
so true.
TV. He took something like TV, okay, that and he saw the danger in it, the ability for it to control people, but he wanted to use it for good, right? And that's what I want you to stick with me on that point. He took something bad and wanted to use it for good. Now, I want you to think of his name, Brian Oblivion. That name stuck out to me, just like it did to Jacob. Yeah, okay, Oblivion. I get it. Okay, end of times, end of the world. Brian could be okay. It sounds like brain. Started digging around a little more. Started playing with the letters. Okay. Did you know that Brian Oblivion, when rearranged, spells Bolivian Robin? Bolivian Robin. Now that might not mean anything to you, but for me as a firm student.
This is an Alex Jones podcast. What's happening?
No. Stick with me here. Stick with me. Remember, he took something bad and he made it good. Okay. He took something bad. He wanted to use it for good. So who is the Bolivian Robin? And now, if any of you were to do a Google search right now for the Bolivian Robin, you would find one
No one's going to do
Roberto
that.
Suarez Gomez. Okay, he was known as the Bolivian Robin Hood. Okay, this guy was a drug kingpin, an associate of Pablo Escobar. And you know what he did? He took the money he made from cocaine, this drug, this insidious thing that people would use, right, and get addicted to, and he took it and he tried to do good things with it. He would build parks, he would build soccer stadiums with this money that he made from cocaine. He would help Bolivia. That's why they called him Bolivian Robin Hood. He still looked back on fondly by the people of Bolivia. Okay, so you got Bolivian Robin Hood. Now we've already established Brian Oblivion is Bolivian Robin Hood, aka Roberto Suarez Gomez. Okay, now let's take a little bit further. Who is Barry Convex? Can somebody give me a little brief synopsis of his character, Daniel, perhaps?
No, I don't. I don't understand his character. He was just really
Jacob,
terrible.
Jacob, Barry Convex. Give me a little rundown of his character in this movie.
Oh, no, don't give me that. I mean, I honestly couldn't really give a rundown to any of the characters in this movie. They were more just like they were just like pieces on a chessboard, just getting us to the end of the film. Like, I don't know. Really
over to Ian. Ian, just a basic. Just tell me who Barry Convex is. Ian is gone. All right. So Barry Convex basically.
Most of us are gone. We're waiting. We're gonna figure it out along with you.
We've established Brian Oblivion is in fact Roberto Suarez Gomez, aka Bolivian Robin. Okay. All right. So I guess Ian, you're playing with the program here. I'm trying to make a point. All right.
Stop talking to Ian and start talking to the audience.
All right. This is what I get for trying to include them in my ramblings. All right. So Barry Convex, okay. This guy is the guy who's behind the Videodrome program. Okay. He's the one who's sending the tapes out. He's the one who's trying to find people to manipulate, to test on them, to figure out what's going on. Okay. So Barry Convex, all right, he's also the one who's responsible for the death of one Bolivian Robin, aka Brian Oblivion, aka Roberto Suarez Gomez. Okay. So thank you guys for coming back. So Bolivian Robin, okay, and Barry Convex. When you take the letters and the name Barry Convex and you mix them up a little bit, what do you get? VCR Axe Robin. Think about it. VCR Axe Robin. AXE, Axe, kills. The VCR, the tape player, kills Robin. What killed our Bolivian Robin, our Brian Oblivion, but the very VHS tapes?
I thought it was a crowbar from the Joker.
It's actually on a grenade, I'm pretty sure, but it's similar.
Pretty good. Not bad.
All right, so that's how this movie actually is saying TV is a drug. It's a drug, and people can try to take it and manipulate it and push it into something that's good, like maybe PBS or something like Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Couldn't possibly be terrible. But here you got the guy with his hand up Elmo's ass with his other hand molesting a 6-year-old. Okay, so you tell me, is it inherently evil or not? I think the movie's stating it is.
Okay, all right. So now we're getting back on track. Yeah. So basically, like, TV is evil.
I think that's the bottom. TV is a drug.
The point.
It's addictive. Yeah. It's evil. It will change the way you see the world, and how you see the world becomes your truth.
That is kind of what the message is that, like, violence on TV causes people to be violent. Like, basically anybody who watches Videodrome will become violent and killers and stuff like that. We see Max, James Woods' character, he starts getting, like, he starts hallucinating of being on Videodrome and whipping the girl who wanted to be on it. And yeah. So yeah, that's definitely a good point. There's a lot of points in this movie, and yeah, basically it's like Fox News, the movie before Fox News. Basically, like, this is kind of.
What do you mean by that?
Well, this is also just very snuff film. I mean, this was definitely the era of just like, oh man, this is like the crazy shit I gotta show my friends, and then it's like it's the dark web before the dark web, right? Like,
yeah.
this is like, I mean, obviously not 1992 or like Nine Inch Nails had its like broken video where it's just like, I'm watching this dude getting tortured while this awesome song's playing. What's happening? But
it's that, exactly. As it kind of like asks the question: is the violence on the TV what causes that? Like, does that make people violent, or are people already violent, and then that's just like a good, I guess.
Also, don't forget horny. Like, this movie's also just very horny.
Yeah, and also is that like relevant to the story, or is that Cronenberg being Cronenberg?
If you were to ask him
anything
directly,
is relevant to the story, because there's a lot of just Cronenberg being Cronenberg in this movie too. And I just like that he goes with that sort of element of, I need these great practical effects, and I want a story that has people confusing reality. And that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to put that whole thing into one more story. I challenge you, Ian. Was it any different from Existence if you want to boil down the movie into it as a video game as opposed to TV?
Yeah,
I think it's just
I
one
was
step
going to
farther.
bring that up actually. This is very. I kind of feel
Yeah.
like Existence is a weird like remake or sequel to Videodrome.
No, I agree. I definitely agree with both y'all, because it's like, it feels like he does this kind of movie like every 10 years almost, just because he's getting up to date on the times. I feel like he's one of the few filmmakers who actually like keeps up with current technologies and stuff like that. And I mean, yeah, like as soon as Existence came out, it's like, oh, video games are huge, and like even when you listen to him, he seems to be like always on top of this stuff. And then Crimes of the Future is also very much like in the times of transitioning and stuff like that. It's all about like current politics, and it's like he knows how to keep up with current events very well, I think.
For sure. And it's like even more so the current like future events. Like he's kind of prophetic, like especially in Existence and this movie Videodrome. It's like kind of really showing things that haven't existed yet, but have like kind of come to be. You know?
Sure.
I think
I'd got to say, reality TV is what he's shooting for in this movie,
Yeah.
and it's like, we need that next big sensational thing. Like, what if we put everybody naked on TV? What if we make it really super ultra violent? What if actually people were doing that? I mean, it's not dissimilar from something like The Running Man.
I was about to
it's not
say,
dissimilar from any number of things, but I definitely could see how dated the references were, and it struck me really high, Jacob, on my list. Just like, I really do have a feeling that if we were to show somebody in their early teens something like this, they're going to be like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. And I don't understand the movie. So he comes back around and he redoes it in Existence. And I think it's much more relatable than this one. And it is about a decade apart. Give or take, 5 years, because I don't know what a decade really is.
15.
But, I mean, you could also just say generational. Like, he usually takes the media of whatever period he's making that movie in and just like does his own spin on it.
Yeah, it's basically like all the things he wanted to say in Videodrome. Like he wanted to really say the things in Existence, but the things in Existence didn't exist yet at the time. So he went with what he worked with what he had, which was like videotapes and TV signals. But then, by the time like video games came around, he was like, okay, I want to tell the same story, make the same message and everything, but about video games. And there's so many parallels between those two movies. It's like basically he wanted to tell a new story, but he wanted to have basically the same message that he did in Videodrome. The things that like didn't really like work with Videodrome because it didn't really make sense.
Well,
I think
like
kind of recycled into Existence to make it more like more I don't know, for us to understand better.
I think it wasn't that like Videodrome didn't work. It was just like Videodrome was a very different time. Like this is before like the PG-13 era, right? Like this is before Temple of Doom, because Temple of Doom is what kind of cemented like creating the PG-13 rating basically, and it was basically this is during the time of like oh man, there's nothing but sex and violence on TV, and then Existence is kind of a response to like, oh, video games are also influencing our kids to be obsessed with sex and violence. Like we got Mortal Kombat, we got titties in video games and stuff like that. And I think it's just like it's not that like Videodrome didn't work; it was just like a whole different generational divide. Like this was basically just about the VHS
the next piece
era.
of control. Yeah,
and then
video and the mind control.
Exactly.
I want to go with some of his prophetic nature that Ian had mentioned too. Though is it really did strike me, and I know that's kind of ridiculous, but the joysticks on top of that TV that we saw in the previous clip, just like it just sort of hit me as like that's a very odd detail to have in this executive's apartment. Do we get the idea that he plays video games or that he's super up to date on? No, he's looking for the next big thing. And I feel like that's also Cronenberg looking for the next big thing. And he puts those elements into his film. And I feel, and again, this is getting to S&M levels of like crazy there, but the idea that he's looking into the future and like thinking like, this is going to come. Your time is going to come at some point. Joysticks and video games. I felt like it was a really like interesting detail to add in.
By 1982, joysticks and video games time had already come. The bubble was just about to burst for Atari and for
NES.
Yeah. Well, this is even pre-NES, right? The bubble.
Yeah, this is about to be NES.
NES couldn't even market themselves as a video game system. They had to say it was an entertainment system because everybody had a bad taste in their mouth from the lack of quality of Atari games at the time. So yeah, they were pushing a lot of trash, much like Videodrome did. But if you look at the scene where Barry Convex brings him to the eyeglass shop and he says, we're going to record your hallucinations with this device. It's a freaking Generation 1 Oculus Quest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super pixelated.
Which
and
also
all of a
made
sudden
me
he's in
think of
another world.
Existence.
I haven't seen Existence, so I can't jump in on that tidbit of it with you guys.
You got to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I only watch shit I get paid for though. You guys.
This is also post Tron too. Like Tron came out a year before this.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Sure. Oh yeah. Video games have already.
I want to maybe look at that and try to put some things together. I always wonder when you're not watching it in that particular generation or not watching these things as a marathon, when you have similarly styled movies, who rode on what ideas and who rode on what movies? Because some people choose to copy other movies and some people chose to copy what's going on in the world at that time. And so the question of like, do you write on the idea of Tron and do something involving TV, or are you really looking at this whole thing and going, people are crazy about these electronic devices now. What's going to happen to them? And there's tons of fun shows and movies going on about these different things. Not my least favorite one that I'm reminded of while watching this movie, but Guns Akimbo. Excellent, with the guns attached to the guy's hands, stuck in a real world reality broadcast video game.
Yeah,
super Cronenbergian view on all of that.
I mean, not just Cronenberg, but Videodrome specifically.
Yeah.
Because we have the scene where he holds the gun and then it just like connects to his head. Like, oh man, that scene was brutal.
Super cool. That's one of my favorite body horror things of it, is just the idea that he can't stop it. But that's not who he really is. That's him hallucinating again, and he realizes he can no longer stop himself, that he needs to go commit this crime.
You know what's really interesting is that we see what he sees. We see the hallucinations. So we're like him. We're just as lost as him. We don't know what's real. We don't know what's fake. But like the other characters around him do know. So it's like, I kind of want to see a version of this movie from the outside point of view, like what's really going on.
It actually flashes back and forth at certain points.
At certain points,
there's specifically when he he kills his two business partners, and he's running out of the office, and he ducks out the back after the nurse realizes that he was the one who actually killed him. He jumped out the back, and he's hiding. He's running around with his arm and his hand in his vest like this, right? You can see for a split second he runs by, and his right hand is normal again. It doesn't have the snake through it with the looks like a thing. So I think
He
that
never
was trying
had
to
that.
yeah.
The
Well,
best part.
but it shows up again when he comes in and he goes to kill Barry Convex at the end of the movie, right? So I think he always had it, but he hides it for a lot of times. So I think they were trying to play on that element of, well, is this real? Is this fake? Is he hallucinating in this scene, or is he
Well,
actually killing his partner?
when he actually shot the two guys in that scene, for a couple of the scenes that they filmed, he didn't have it. Now that could be a continuity error. I don't know, but that's the best part. You don't know.
When it
So,
involves
because it goes
practical
back and
effects,
forth.
I can't accept that it's a continuity error. Especially with Cronenberg, when it involves like some plastic or some rubber that you got to put on somebody, I don't think he
Oh yeah,
missed
no,
a
that probably
chance to
took a
do
whole
it.
day.
Yeah. He wouldn't be like, all right, now let's refilm it without
Now
the hand,
go to bed.
without there being a purpose to it. Yeah.
What do I do with this thing?
Yeah.
You hold that there for the whole day.
Well, and also when Convex shoves that tape into his chest vagina, like, is he actually like strapped down to a chair and he's just being like Clockwork Oranged into being brainwashed,
Or is he
what
hypnotizing
is?
him or something?
Yeah, right.
Perception is reality.
This right here.
In this world, yeah. No, he's just rubbing a copy of Titanic on his belly. Just, can you feel Rose? This movie's gonna come out in 15 years.
But
give me a
that
James Cameron Cronenberg movie, please.
James
but
Cameron.
we see what Max sees, which is him shoving a videotape into his stomach vagina, and then all of a sudden he's being mind controlled to carry out assassination missions.
Right.
But
Makes sense.
really, it's like what are they really doing? I mean, it's pretty much, I guess they're showing him the signal. It's the signal that's doing the hallucinations and the mind control at the same thing. At the same time. So
I've got an answer for you, Ian. I've got an answer for you. When Barry Convex is assassinated, as Cronenberg loves to show in his films, right? When Barry Convex is assassinated, he doesn't just die like a normal person. He goes and fucking shit comes out of his face, and like little things crawl away. And he's not human, man. He's not human. So
that's also a hallucination
interpretation. Yeah.
No. Convex is the not just the hallucination, but the hallucinator. Like, he can hallucinate into reality whatever he sees as this alien race that I'm assuming he is. Now, he could be a race. He could be some from this planet or another.
I think that's just James Woods' interpretation of who he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be inhuman.
No, because like we just talked about, Cronenberg didn't shy away from showing the reality versus the hallucination. But whenever Convex is involved, there is no reality. It's all hallucination. And especially with his assassination.
I think that's supposed to be how far his brain tumor has developed. Is developed where he just can't determine reality from
okay. So is there a way that you could view this movie where it's just James Woods going fucking nuts and killing some eyeglass salesman?
The movie.
Yeah,
is that just what it is? He just kills a random eyeglass salesman that he thinks is like forcing him to do some shit.
No, I mean it's not
Daniel,
that far.
Ian, Daniel had two hands up, man. Daniel, go.
Daniel, what do you got for us, Daniel?
So we wanted to talk away drugs real hard in this movie, but who is on drugs specifically that we know of? We know of Oblivion. We know that Nikki was on drugs, and we know that Max is on drugs. Who do we definitely know was not on drugs? That'd be Harlan and Barry. And you know what? The people that were on drugs saw all sorts of crazy things. They saw each other doing crazy things. They did crazy things with each other, whether it was via video cassette or whether it was via actually involving each other into things that they didn't want to do, like the cigarette scene or any of the cutting or any of the weirdness that was going on. Even if it was the weird sex stuff that was going on. via whipping a TV or things like that. These guys were on drugs, right? So how crazy is it to believe that when going through the different parts of withdrawal or other things, when you're not associating yourself with these, that you start killing random people or you go after the suppliers? So with all of that, it's very easy to see Oblivion's daughter as being, the sort of person that sets you straight. And all of a sudden, you're going back and you're like, I need this person out of my life, and I need this, and I need that, and it's a little crazy to think about it this way. But is the movie not about drugs? Also, but
yeah, because she reprograms him too, like to be like, hey, actually, you need to go kill him.
Yeah,
yeah.
And who were the people that were on it? Like there were people on drugs that were very successful at doing things very, very, very different from what their private lives were like. So, and when they connected on the most superficial levels, and then went off into their own weird world out there in drug world. So we could go straight back to the drug thing and think about this whole movie making sense.
That definitely takes away what I was saying earlier.
Sorry.
No, that's all good.
You go.
Now, I would like to go back to what I was saying about Fox News. Is that like it reminds me of like this is like they're using TV to manipulate people for like their own propaganda agenda thing.
Ian, now that you mention it, Barry Convex does bear some resemblance to Bill O'Reilly.
Or even Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
No, I think,
and it's like, yeah. So it's like kind of you think about like, yeah, there's the TV wars between Fox News and CNN, and they're using their own propaganda to fill out their own agenda and manipulating.
Well, and Cronenberg's also just been so unabashedly liberal. He's very liberal. So
yeah.
Going back
and the
to
crazy thing is that Fox News wasn't even a thing yet, and so he kind of in a way predicted Fox News in a very extreme way, but still like it's like they're manipulating their viewers.
I feel more like Fox News is the epitome of that which was calling out this same thing. Like Fox News in 2003 was like Grand Theft Auto is killing children. Like Fox News was very much on the other side of this coin. So I think I'm not exactly sure where you're coming from with that, Ian. But I appreciate your opinion.
It's not like the message that's being said. It's the fact that there's this powerful group of people who use TV specifically
to control
to manipulate and control their people to carry out a certain agenda.
Yeah, of course. And we've seen that from the MTV generation of the 80s with, Pauly Shore being like, it's okay to be a fucking stoner, bro, dude. It's okay to fucking live on the beach.
Also, don't forget The Simpsons. The Simpsons were on Fox, and The Simpsons shat on Fox constantly.
Oh, absolutely.
It was basically, what can we get away with? Because Fox actually sucks. Like, we hate these people.
Yeah. that was a joke, but either way, what Daniel's talking about, where it is about drugs, which as we know, since Brian Oblivion is actually Roberto Suarez Gomez, Oblivion Robin, this movie is definitely about comparing TV to being a drug and vice versa. And
that too. I mean, there's a few messages that are.
But if we jump to the very end of this movie, which Daniel hasn't seen for 5 years or so, I think.
No, he saw a different movie.
I had it back when I had Blockbuster. Unlimited pass.
He saw a different movie.
All right, Daniel's much older than I thought he was. Either way, I'm playing. That's a compliment. That's a compliment. But thinking about that, going to that very last scene, it's your girl. What was her name? Little Miss Oblivion. What was her first name?
I don't know her name.
I didn't do any
Bianca.
acronyms. Bianca. Yeah, there's no good acronyms for Bianca Oblivion, so I left her out of my theory. But rest assured, I tried.
I don't know.
We can brainstorm the acronyms or what are they, anagrams, whatever they're called. Either way, so she's over here. She shows up at the very end of the movie. She says, "You've got to take the power of the flesh back," or some shit, and gives him one last tape to watch, one last pulsating, undulating tape, and he puts it in the VCR. and he watches it, and it's an image. He sees an image of himself killing himself and saying, what was it, "Long live the flesh" or some shit like that, right?
That's a
Long live the new flesh.
Videodrome.
Yeah.
Long live the
That's
new
a
flesh.
Videodrome. Yeah, exactly. And then he's watching it, and you're just like, okay, so he watches himself die, and then the camera turns to him. This is a great scene. Turns to him
It
slowly,
is.
and he stands up and does the exact same thing, but now instead of seeing it through a TV, you're seeing it as if you were there through the eye of the lens, right? So,
But also through a TV.
but also, yeah. Oh, whoa, dude! Oh my God! Still, oh shit, dude! I'm in IMAX, dude! Oh my God, dude!
I mean, for 83, that is pretty fucking mind blowing. I mean,
he said mind blowing. I get it. That was a good one, man. That was a good one, Jacob.
hey, this isn't Scanners. That's mind blowing.
That's why I really had a hard time. You guys understand?
Hey! Can we just agree that Cronenberg likes to blow minds? Okay.
Yeah.
And Debbie Harry likes to blow with some knife
He
in
also
her
loves to
shoulder
blow,
at the same
man.
time.
I mean, these movies are all horny. All of them are horny.
Oh yeah. Oh, can I also say real quick, great debut, great acting debut for Debbie Harry. Am I the only one who thought she really performed this role well?
Everybody was really good at everybody's really good at all of his
This was her
movies.
first acting role, and in an interview she was like,
Cronenberg.
she was like, I wanted to be like Miss America. I wanted to be like
person.
everybody to love me, right? Like Blondie, she was already had a #1 hit. She had, Tell Me was already, tell me. Come on, everybody had that song, right?
Yeah.
So she
I've
already
never
was
heard
on
that
top
version
of
of it before, but sure.
You know what I'm talking? Tell me. I got on a 7-inch over here somewhere. But Call Me. Oh, it's Call Me. It was Call Me. My bad. But either way, man.
Some fan you are.
I know, dude. I know. I'm fucking racking up points over here. But yeah, Debbie Harry, man, great acting performance. And what else was she ever in? I've never seen her act before in another movie, unless I'm blanking out. Somebody with I see some IMDb fingers going. What else was Debbie Harry in? Because I feel like she could have done a lot more with it, right? Am I wrong? She'd be the Helen Mirren of the modern era.
She was in Body Bags. That was just John Carpenter. I don't remember her in that movie because that was the anthology one. She was in Hairspray. She's been in a lot, honestly, but nothing I actually. Oh, she was in Tales from the Dark Side. Okay,
so she took a stab at the Scream Queen thing, huh?
I don't know if she was a Scream Queen in those. I think she was actually on the other side.
But she took a stab at it.
Sure.
All right,
but no, keep going. So yeah. A lot of the stuff I don't recognize her actually being in. Looks like a lot of just supporting cast type stuff.
All right. Well, good for Debbie Harry.
Well,
I'd like to.
So let's see. We've covered a number of topics. I mean, there's so much to this movie. There's so much shit going on.
Ian, can you cut up my video for 30 seconds for me, real quick?
Cut your video?
Yeah, just cut me.
You cut his audio too. What if he was going to say something great without looking at the screen? Ian, well, so long as other Ian's not here, I did want to give you just a little bit of credit on this. It was very hard to not go ahead and look at the geopolitical thing too, with the fact that James Woods' character dug really hard at the United States, talking shit about Pittsburgh, while in fact he believed that, and he name dropped a bunch of different countries that at that time were considered by the U.S. to be third world, not including Malaysia, which is the country that the broadcast was supposed to be coming from. So it is not hard to believe that there is a geopolitical climate going on inside of this movie. And, you know, as multifaceted as it comes, unless you're actually David Cronenberg, you're not going to be able to tell us what you were going for. But it's really, really, really fun to go ahead and poke in all of these different directions. Like, were you poking at drugs? Were you poking at TV? Are you poking at geopolitical climax?
This is also
that's a good double entendre. Climate.
Daniel, to add to that, this is also the Reagan era.
Yeah.
So the Reagan era was very, prolific with just like, how's video games and movies and TV, affecting our kids, And then also like, let's commit war crimes. We love war crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm going to assume that so long as we couldn't see or hear him, Ian couldn't see or hear us. So let's continue on.
I don't
But
like
yeah,
how you said that behind his back.
They're turning the frogs into James Woods.
yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. No, man. Hey. You can laugh at it all you
Invasive James
want.
Woods.
All right. I'm fucking.
But-
Let's call this movie wars, man. Come on.
Anyway, I really dig how there's these two factions who use they use him Max by doing mind control via hallucination via TV signal to carry out assassination missions against each other. Like that is really cool, and which was also like really interesting in Existence that I wanted to see more of. That there was so little in Existence about that very similar thing, not the same thing, but it was similar. Like
And
there,
again, does Max have any free will for himself?
no,
Huh?
he's just like no,
Well-
he's just a rat, like a lab rat. He's just doing like he tries to do something like throughout the movie. It's kind of like a noir. He's trying to figure out, trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, and he's almost like like he's trying to like an agent. He's it's a noir, and he's just trying to ask people, interrogate people, just like, all right, what's going on? And but really, like, what he doesn't realize is that everybody knows what's going on except him, and they're just using him to do their bidding, basically.
Is it a bad time to bring up other movies that were based off of other media that have a similar plot? Because
I guess go.
I'm totally thinking of
Oh,
Scanner
we mentioned
Darkly
Existence
with this one.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
Scanner Darkly.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just thinking about the idea of getting
Honestly.
wrapped up in the thing that you're actually trying to figure out. He was trying to figure out these things from Malaysia. He was trying to use it to his own principles, and he got wrapped up in it and got screwed by it instead. But he was actually being manipulated by others that had their own agenda, and it just can't help. It just gives me the Scanner Darkly vibes.
And
and Apocalypse Now, because it's like oh god, I already forgot the infamous line about I'm just a grocery clerk here to collect the bill or whatever like that.
Or you are a grocery
yes
clerk.
yes it's Marlon Brando who's saying it to Martin Sheen. It's like, you're just a grocery clerk here to collect a bill. It's like, you've been basically programmed to come kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're just a message boy, basically. Yeah. But back to Scanner Darkly, that is based off of a book written by Philip K. Dick, who was also very prophetic. I don't know what year he wrote that book in, but he wrote most of his books in like the 60s and 70s, and they were all like it was like shit, like the Matrix before the Matrix. It was very very interesting in the way that like Philip K. Dick and David Cronenberg are very similar, and the fact that they come up with things that haven't existed yet but will come to existence later.
Is it weird that I like
some might say
I like philosophy talk about movies better than I like movie talk about philosophies right these days? Sometimes these cult classics that totally bombed at the time that they came out come back around in this just interesting way. It's considered to be one of Cronenberg's best movies, and it was actually up until the point of the filming, it was the one that he was given the highest budget for, and it bombed. It made like a third of the amount in box office that it was supposed to, and it's still considered his best movie. Widely considered his best movie, at least. That could be up for debate.
But Fly is my favorite of his.
Well, people had big expectations after The Fly, and that's why James Wood signed on for this movie.
I think this came out before The Fly.
Yeah, this is way before The Fly. This is like 5 or 6 years.
What am I thinking of? What came out right before this? Cronenberg did.
Before this was Scanners.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, people like. Well, James Wood likes scanners too. That's what I was thinking of. My bad.
Yeah, everybody knows James Woods loves scanners.
Dude, he said it in an interview. I watched it. It was good. I do more.
I didn't
I
notice
watched
that.
I
That's
watched
the
more
movie
than
he
just
was in,
the-
right? About the TV guy had? Whatever. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, yeah, we can say so much about this movie though. Like, it's so cool that, like I was saying earlier, I like how the two factions are just manipulating him to like kill each other basically, and yeah, he has no say in the matter at all. He doesn't even know what the fuck's going on because he's hallucinating the whole time, and
Well, he
that's
becomes a
that's
full
where-
Manchurian candidate. You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very similar to Manchurian Candidate,
Like
which
all the other Cronenberg movies, including his sons.
yeah, but yeah, it's like and that's where we stop seeing it from Max's point of view, and we see it from the outsiders. I mean, we still see like his like cancer gun hand, and like the guy exploding and shit. So we kind of
what
see
makes
his
it cancer?
hallucinations.
Why is it cancer gun hand?
It's I don't know.
Cancer
It's
gun?
all
Oh,
like
do you think
timorous.
it's like a tumor? It's like a tumor on his hand. that's
Kind
holding the gun
of.
in?
It just looks. I don't know.
I don't think people get
Ian's
tumors.
been called out and has no answer. That's fine though. Why is it like that? I don't know.
This is also
Leave me
before
alone.
Akira too, so it's not like Tetsuo with his. Or actually, is this
yeah.
around when Tetsuo Iron Man came out?
I think it is before Akira.
It's definitely before Akira. I can't
Alright,
remember when
alright.
Tetsuo the Iron Man came out.
All
Where it
right,
was like just
bigger
all about-
question: did Cronenberg watch anime? Like,
Oh no, this was before
This is
Tetsuo.
before Akira. Yeah.
like
okay,
what year
okay.
did what was the first year Cronenberg watched Japanese animation, and was it like
This is
Speed
not
Racer
Japanese
or something?
animation.
What, Akira?
No, Tetsuo.
No, I mean Tetsuo was it was a Japanese body horror film that kind of inspired Akira because the whole thing was about
Oh.
cyber organic body horror. It was black and white.
Mm.
You should give it a watch. That should also.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have covered it
89.
on Cold and Trash
yet.
horror movie grind, but man, that is a movie
No, yeah.
we got to talk about.
Okay, I'll put it on the list. One thing I do really plan to cover in the within the next few weeks is Tokyo Gore Police.
Oh, cool. Well, Tokyo Gore Police doesn't have like a drill penis like Tetsuo the Iron
It
Man.
has a lot of things though.
It does. It does. But not a drill penis and a woman getting off.
Not
on a drill
specifically
penis.
that, but many things very similar to that.
There's a few movies that don't have that. I'm hesitant to name too many at once.
we
but,
should cover the sadness at some point. I've seen that twice since it came out.
I'm not sure what
Two.
that is.
It's
No,
brand
three.
new. It's a brand new movie, but it goes places.
Okay.
Does Titanic have a drill penis?
Oh,
I want
man,
to add
if
that
only-
to.
Oh, Billy Zane's
that's
drill
an
penis,
delete
best
scene.
part of that movie.
It's
I'm
wait,
gonna
wait.
give that a 3.5. Then maybe there's 3.5 movies that don't have it that I can think of offhand.
Wait,
3.5-inch drill penis.
is it a drill penis or a drill dough?
Oh,
I've
He's got
I've
it.
seen a couple movies with a drill though in it. Which is
Yeah.
also
But they're usually hand
upsetting.
operated. I guess if it's attached to somebody, then that's
And
what
those
makes
would
it a
all
drill
be
penis.
Cronenberg movies because they're so horny, man.
Interesting.
well. Anyway, I want to bring up. Does this movie not? I kind of mentioned it in passing at the beginning of this episode, but does this movie not remind you guys of Black Mirror?
Oh yeah, it's very Twilight Zone-ish. Like,
Yeah,
But
Reminds me
everything
of-
reminds me of Black Mirror.
Black
Black Mirror
Mirror.
doesn't have a single original idea in its whole playbook. And it's,
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah, yeah,
Black Mirror is
Not a
just
fan.
the
Because-
modern Twilight Zone. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very-
That's
and
a-
it rehashes
but,
a whole
like,
bunch of things we've already
That's a
seen.
very
before.
Gen Z take of you, Ian. for
Black,
real.
dude, Gen Z wasn't even a thing when Black Mirror started.
Yeah, but like now they look at Black Mirror as we looked at Twilight Zone. They're like, oh, this old shit came out. It's like fucking sick. But they're not watching.
I
Twilight
guess. I mean, before. I mean, Netflix fucked it up when they picked up Black Mirror, but before Netflix picked up Black Mirror and it was on BBC, the first first 2 seasons, it was actually really crazy and amazing and
Yeah, where
soul
they were fucking
working.
pigs.
Yeah. Anyway, but the thing that I want to bring up about Black Mirror is that, like, one thing we haven't talked about Videodrome is that so we've covered the body horror, we've covered the whole manipulation thing and the hallucinations and all of that. Another thing is the merge of human and technology, which we haven't really covered on here, which Black Mirror is all about. Is like, yeah, the dangers of technology, and like, I mean, that's what this movie is all about. So I'm surprised there hasn't been a Black Mirror episode about like the story of using
since they rip everything else off, you thought
technology.
they would probably rip this movie off.
Why not rip this movie off too?
That's good. That's good.
Ian brings up a great point. Why not also this one?
To go full body.
I guess I'm the
or
only
to
Black
just,
Mirror
like,
fan.
or to how to manipulate.
Oh, I'm a huge Black Mirror fan. I'm just fucking with you.
Because Black Mirror does nothing but manipulate, like, with people within the show. Like, they have that entire social media American Idol-esque competition, and then they have the whole social media through your lenses. So you can see, like, oh, is this person worth talking to? Oh, they have like less than like 2,000 followers. Fuck them. I don't want to talk to them. Kind of.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
200 people disliked your post today. Can't rent a car. Sorry. That was a good episode. That was good. See, I like that shit. I like that show. I just want to fuck with you, man. That's all.
Yeah, that was one of their last good episodes too. Before they just went way downhill. And
Dude, I like the interactive episode. I like the reader beware, choose your own scare.
No, I like Bandersnatch. I'm talking about
that
like
one.
the other lame ass ones. That came
like
after
what?
that.
Like what?
The fucking.
I enjoyed them all. The one where the
couple
hits
season
hits the
was
lady.
terrible.
The one where the couple hits the lady on the drive. That was a good one. It's all right. It's kind of
I honestly can't remember the last season. I didn't watch the interactive one either. The video game one, right?
Yeah, no, Bandersnatch, where you get to choose.
Yeah, I didn't watch that.
What happens? It's pretty cool.
You don't watch it. You do it.
You live it.
Yeah. You do it on a PlayStation.
But
and you
like
have to pick what the thing goes to.
main character who you're controlling has, like, he figures out that you're controlling him, and
don't spoil it, but
existential fucking crisis.
The same thing happens in Metal Gear Solid. That's ridiculous. I don't appreciate that.
You've been playing this game too long. You should turn the game off. That shit in Metal Gear Solid 2, that shit freaked me out as a kid.
Why don't you just plug in a controller port too? Otherwise, you're gonna get controlled.
You're talking about Metal Gear Solid 1. Yeah. We're
Mantis.
He's like, put the controller down.
Yeah,
making it vibrate. I'm like,
I see you're in memory card 2. You need to insert disc 2 in order to fight me.
But yeah,
I see you've been playing a lot of Crash Bandicoot. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. How do you know that?
You don't know my life, man.
And Bandersnatch, the main guy, like, you keep like, I don't know, you keep fucking up, so you go back and make him do different decisions. He's like, did I do this already before? Like,
yeah.
Oh no, I feel like my whole life is like a game or something. And then he starts having a huge existential crisis, like I have no free will. Just like everything is like somebody's choosing all my decisions for me.
And then they link it to other Black Mirror episodes, like the Black Museum.
Yeah,
They link it.
Yeah,
it's
cool. Anyway, Videodrome would make a good Black Mirror episode. Like,
would you? Okay, would you guys? Serious question. Would you take a brain tumor if it meant that you could have sex with 1981 Debbie Harry? Serious question.
I mean,
no, I don't want a brain tumor.
No, it's very consent, sir. I would ask first.
Dude, no, it's called sex work, which is a very reasonable thing in the world. I have a brain tumor.
That still requires consent. Sex work still requires consent.
Yeah. No one's talking about. I'm not saying you're going to violate Debbie Harry. I'm saying you're going to have consensual, romantic, maybe violent, but like consensually violent sex with Debbie Harry based on this movie.
Yeah, with Debbie Harry. I mean, who
Yeah.
wouldn't, honestly?
1981 Debbie, dude. 1991, 2001 Debbie Harry, dude.
Important question: do I get the tumor first, beforehand, or do I get it afterwards? And
all right, it does cause hallucinations that you do think are real, and you are going to kill your coworkers.
Do I think that it's Debbie Harry, and it turns out that it's not? Because that's the part that I have a problem with.
Oh,
It's
you won't be able to tell. Yeah, you'll think she's one of the go-go girls.
That's why
our HR is gonna hop onto this call and
it's
see
like
shit.
It's like this is what I want to see in the movie. Like he's basically going around fucking murdering people, but in his mind he's having sex with her, and it's just like having the time of his life.
He's like, yeah, Debbie Harry. And meanwhile, Debbie Harry is actually Blondie in this universe, and he's just like, oh, I was on a TV show. He's like
He's just like they arrest him, they're interrogating him, and they're like, "Why did you do it?" And he's like, "Man, I'm in fucking La La Land right now. Like, it's just the time of my life."
Oh no, he's gonna get off so hard when the cops handcuff him. No, I hate this universe. No, I'm definitely calling it. No, I will not do. It's horrible.
You wouldn't take a brain tumor for it.
No.
I mean, it's not going to kill you immediately. Could give you powers.
Yeah, but you know how you think you're going to die? You're going to die in an awful S&M video.
Hey, but you know how you're going to die, and that's a comfort most people don't get.
And you'll live forever because everyone will watch the S&M video.
You'll be like the middle of the road, and you know that you're going to die from a car crash. Like
you'll be like The Ring, man. It'll be great.
Which, by the way, I think The Ring kind of ripped off this movie a little bit.
I mentioned The Ring earlier, and for that reason, yeah, I think there is a part of it. Yeah. Although, are you saying Ringu ripped off, like the Japanese version?
No, The Ring.
No, it's based on a Japanese movie.
Yeah, whichever.
Which Cronenberg was obviously watching Akira, which is why he made this movie. So it's a full circle.
Even though, I mean, we all know that Cronenberg watched.
This came out before Akira. This came out like
everything he did.
I was talking about Speed Racer.
Was ripped off from the future. Like he definitely has access to a time machine.
This is just a rip-off of Existential. Quick tangent. Man. He stole that from him in another timeline.
Give Jacob a tangent. Full screen Jacob. Tangent.
Quick tangent. I haven't really watched the trailers to Nope, but I saw a quick cut of Jordan Peele pulling off the Akira Kaneda, motorcycle drift scene in one of the Nope previews. I'm already in. Like, I don't care if that movie's bad. I love all of Jordan Peele's other movies, but if that movie's bad, I don't care.
Yeah,
the fact that he pulled off the Akira drift, it's like, give that fucker the Akira movie. Give him the Akira movie. He can do it. That's it.
I can see Jordan Peele pulling that off. Better than the Dragon Ball Z movie,
Oh God, anything can be better than that Dragon Ball Z movie. You could have Michael Bay do a fucking Akira movie. Be better.
Wasn't Jesse from what was it? Who is it? Wasn't Jesse from fucking
Shameless?
Breaking Bad? No.
No.
Aaron Paul.
It wasn't Aaron Paul.
It wasn't Aaron Paul. Goku.
It was the dude from no. That was the dude from Shameless and War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise, the son from War of the Worlds.
Yeah, that movie.
And then James Marsden from Buffy. Spike from Buffy was Piccolo.
Yeah,
and then Emmy Rossum, also from Shameless, was Bulma.
They missed that. You cannot cast a white person as Piccolo. Piccolo is definitely of a more cultural variety. Like that's fucked up, man.
Well, hey, let's move on to our next segment where we do the prequel sequel thing. Because I think we've all said enough about Scanner Dark. Scanner Dark. I don't know why I said that.
We have not said enough about that. That's a different one.
That doesn't even fit this podcast. Anyway, I mean we're talking about other movies at this point. Multiple other movies.
Aren't there already enough prequels to this movie that we've discussed today, Ian?
There are, but let's talk about more.
Right? No. This is make one up.
I have an idea. I have two ideas. One is more literal. The other is more metaphorical. I want to see a Black Mirror episode Without the, I mean, I love the hallucinations and I love the body horror. That's what makes this movie like really amazing. But I kind of want to see the more like literal, like what's really going on, and have them have like a more like serious, like kind of hallucination. Kind of like, I mean, shit, Black Mirror did do that episode. It's the one, it's the one where all the military people see like
Yep,
all
yep.
brown people as like
They,
insects and
they
shit.
dehumanize the immigrants in their universe. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
fuck. All right,
That was
never
bad.
mind. But I do have a metaphorical idea, but I'll go last for that one. So Daniel, I'll have you go next.
Oh, I mean, I want to see Nikki's point of view. I want to know what she went through on her end
Okay.
that led her down this path. She didn't start off very stable. And I know James Woods' character started off as a scumbag. That's why he was targeted. I want to know why she was targeted to be brought into this whole thing, or if she was collateral damage. And I want to
Okay.
know how it went down that path. Obviously, the plan is that everyone is who's like that is going to be taken down by this whole controlling process. But I want to see it kind of from her point of view, because I feel like, especially after what I presume is her death, that when she gets brought into James Woods's fantasies, that she still has some view on it, which I think would be pretty neat.
Okay. Yeah. So you want to see like an entire movie of that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it could be pretty. It could be about as long as this one, because this one had a fair amount of fluff. I'm not gonna lie about that. But just her interacting with some of the people and what led her down this path. Maybe seeing some of her previous interactions that led her to get involved. Even if we only get to the point where she meets James Woods and gets exposed to this beforehand, how do we know that Barry didn't introduce her to enough stuff before to bring her down this path to start with? How do we know that this is her first time actually viewing that, or if that was the impetus in which she started approaching James Woods the way that she did? Maybe she started cutting herself and hurting herself based on having watched this movie with just a fantasy beforehand. So we don't know. And I think you could explore a lot of her psyche
Yeah.
and her helping people while having a, you know, she's helping to talk people down off a ledge who are not in the same position as her, but she's also not disclosing to them anything about her weird sexual life or how she actually likes to be hurt as part of it. So maybe she's getting off hearing people's stories. And that would be a great way to lead her down that path, where it's arranged by Barry to bring Dr. Oblivion in to this talk show and get those two together.
Okay.
Who knows? It could be neat.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's interesting to think about. Yeah, somebody else's point of view for sure. Jacob, how about you?
I mean, mine are kind of generic. Like if you're to do a remake today, definitely Dark Web, I guess. I think it'd be more interesting to sort of have Cronenberg create his own sort of Marvel Cinematic Universe, but of like body horror. I like the idea of Color Out of Space. Richard, I always forget his name. He did Hardware, the director of Color Out of Space, and it was like his first movie he's done in like 20 years. But he wants to do kind of like a Lovecraft sort of cinematic universe, and I'd love to see Cronenberg kind of pursue the same thing. And I'd love to see how Videodrome would connect with Existence, would connect with Crimes of the Future, and any one of his other movies too. You know, like I would love a Cronenberg sort of connected universe. Maybe the same company behind Oblivion and Convex was one of the companies behind the company that funded oh my god, Brundle in The Fly, like what funded his project for creating the teleporters and stuff like that. Very sort of Wayland Yutani of the Alien franchise, kind of like connective tissue. I think that would be a fun. It doesn't have to be actually real, but it'd be fun to have like a lot of that stuff sort of connect in some way. I think it'd be kind of neat. Or even like Cronenberg, I could also see him doing like a modern Existence, but also connect all that shit in a sort of like kind of up his own ass kind of way, be like, oh, I'm basically doing a satire of the Marvel universe while also kind of being sort of making fun of my own movies in a way. I mean, I think that would be kind of fun too. Anytime Cronenberg like gets into his own stuff, kind of like Lynch, it's always a good time.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. And SCNM.
All right, so first of all, I want to say I fully support a Nikki centric remake. I don't know where Daniel went, but that's a good idea. I had a lot of questions about her character, and like a lot of movies in the '80s, the female leads were more plot devices rather than really dynamic characters that showed a lot of depth, and I think there is a lot of depth there to explore. Okay,
especially if you have Blondie in the role, right? Like,
oh my God, I just want to see more Debbie Harry. You caught me. Okay, you called me out, Jacob.
Yeah,
I just want to see more. I'll just, dude. You know, I got a heart of glass. What can I say? But besides that, so my my idea for this would be a modern retelling. So yeah, I mean, we go full reboot, or we just call it Videodrome 2, whatever you want. There, we could kind of retcon in some. Oh, I'm James Woods' cousin's nephew or something, you know. But basically, it's going to take place in 2023. Okay, and you got a kid. He's like fresh out of high school, trying to go to college, and he's addicted to porn. So he goes to Pornhub like every day, hides it from his family and stuff, and he goes deeper and deeper with it until he finds these really weird videos where they're like, where they get into some crazy S&M shit. Although to match it to the standards of today, it's gonna have to be like real crazy. You know what I mean? Like extra crazy. To you know, kind of backpack off of Jacob's dark web take, right? So he finds like the one Pornhub channel. It's only got like 20 views, and it's like some crazy shit. He starts getting more into it, and it basically follows the same plot as Videodrome, but it's modern time, and he's and it's Pornhub.
Okay.
The most vanilla porn site.
yeah. No, but he ends up at some weird shit. He finds some weird shit on there. He's not. Pornhub's gonna like help sponsor the movie. It's not just.
I was gonna say Pornhub only.
All right. Okay. Brainstorm it with me. What would be better if he finds a specific. If he finds a specific OnlyFans, then that's connected to.
Speaking of pussy.
Yeah. Let me get some of that tail. Oh.
All right. Well, okay. Cool.
Meow.
Did you have anything else, or is that it?
I also have an idea for one that takes place in 2003, and it's a 13-year-old kid finds rotten.com, and that becomes the plot to Videodrome.
Okay.
So you take either.
So it's just a remake that takes place fucking 19 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. But yes, is a movie that takes place in 2003 considered a period piece now?
GoDaddy.com.
Fuck. God damn it, dude. Time never loses, does it?
That's crazy. It's 19 years ago, but 20 years before the original. Or after the original.
Yeah, so it's still a sequel, but it's
39 years. 39 years since you've seen it. That's why some of us are old, because we came out near the date that this movie was released.
Dude, I'm 23. I don't know what you I don't know what you guys are talking about.
So you're going to come out around the time of the re-release. That's going to be called a period piece.
I'm 19
Sounds like
years
you're getting
old.
old too.
He was born in the year 2003.
I was born in the year 2003. What's 9/11? I don't even know, because I didn't experience it.
Anyway, I have an idea, and
it's chest vaginas.
Hey, Ian, can you scoot to your left? Can you scoot over to your left just a little bit?
All right.
Can you just scoot over? a little bit.
There
That's
you
your right.
go. I
You
really
like-
appreciate how Ian's propped himself up, just like Ian Malcolm in the middle of Jurassic Park. He's only missing the open shirt, but the open shirt's right behind him. So I don't know if that counts or not.
Can you like? Can you just do some
Anything but that.
There you go. Stay right there. Right there. Good job.
I don't know.
And Daniel,
Oh,
you
man.
said Ian Malcolm in the middle, and that's the first time I've heard that, and it sounds great. It sounds
Do you,
fantastic.
dig up- dig up
I would
Brian
watch
Cranston?
that probably. It sounds terrible.
Life is unfair.
Life finds a way.
Life is chaos.
Do you
Anyway,
dig up dinosaurs?
I have an idea.
All right, Ian, give us your fucking ideas.
Is it-
Go
I
ahead.
want
Can you get it out already? Damn.
this
Come on.
to be made as a series. This because when I watched this movie, I'm like, this is great, but it's like I want more. It was like this isn't enough for me. Like there's so many amazing ideas all thrown at the same time, but like I mean, it works as a movie, but it leaves me wanting more. So I want a 3 season, maybe 4 season series on HBO. And first season is like this movie in its entirety spread out as a season. So it's basically like kind of the same idea. So a guy finds a TV signal that gives him hallucinations. You know, it's the same deal. We watch the same movie. You know how it goes. And then so like these two factions, they realize that they can mind control people using this signal, and so they use the main guy Max to carry out assassinations until he eventually kills himself, and like the entire other faction that first started it. Now season 2 starts with that, like basically the new flesh realizing that they can do this, so that they rise up and create different like media platforms that can control the masses.
Twitter.
basically.
Sorry, I just shouted that.
Twitter will work. Yeah. I mean, this is
TikTok.
still like takes place in like the mid 2000s, probably.
You are talking about basically Black Mirror seasons, but not
Black Mirror,
not episodic.
Yeah. By the way, I
building towards
forgot.
a universe.
Yeah, I mean, this is an entire like season, kind of like Westworld in a way. You know, it's like. By the way, have any of y'all seen the new season of Westworld?
It's pretty
No.
good so far.
I stopped watching season 2, dude.
Because season 2 is
you're missing
awful.
It fell off so
3
hard.
I
is
wouldn't say
okay.
season 2 is awful.
I just stopped
but
I
watching.
think season 2 is
it's
bad.
really
It's really hard.
There are some awful episodes,
And
in
her name
season
is
2.
Evan Rachel Wood. That's what I was trying to remember.
But
earlier.
season
great
4,
actress.
there's mind control.
I mean, season 3 was all about mind control because it was all about algorithms controlling us. Like our destinies were already predetermined.
Yeah,
by a
so
computer,
it's kind of like Westworld in a way, but but different. But I forgot to mention in season 1, Max, I want him to be played by Keanu Reeves because I think he'd be perfect. Like the whole time he'd be like, "Whoa," it's like.
I mean, I also love to see Keanu Reeves in a horror movie. Like, when was the last time you ever saw Keanu Reeves in a horror movie? Honestly, besides Knock Knock, I guess, but that's more of a thriller.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think Keanu Reeves would be great in this. He's like, death to Videodrome, law lives in new flesh, like that, and basically, yeah. So anyway, that's season 1, and season 2, they're like the two factions come up, and they're using social media to control the masses, to control people, and then now season 3, they realize that video games are the new popular thing. So they're using video games to control people and manipulate people. But like the basically the new flesh has been taken out in season 2. Now we have a rise of realism, because so you have the video games versus realism, and the realists are like, do you understand the the dangers that you're causing people? Now we're in existence.
I was gonna say, so are you actually building a universe that bridges these decades between
Yeah.
Videodrome to Existence? Because
Yes.
I would watch that probably. Like if they could build a universe out of this,
Yeah.
the
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Cronenberg
so like
universe.
seasons 3 and 4 could be like like season 3 could be like the building up of the video games and stuff, but season 4 is like in the video games, and it's in the existence. Like this is existence, or what was the other one, transcendence. They're like, as basically they're going through many video games, assassinating each other, manipulating each other. Like it's the same shit. It's all built up. So yeah, dude, this would be amazing. The
I
entire like
think
4 seasons of like this idea of like this one like idea of a uh just one little simple TV signal that is manipulating people to like killing people and turn candidate style, but to the masses for decades and decades.
Can we
And
incorporate scanners and The Fly too, like season 5, season
no.
6? Can it be like a? Can it be like
straight
a?
no, straight no.
Can it be like, oh
No.
fuck you? That's my idea. Then can it be a Cronenverse? I want a Cronenverse.
All right,
Like not just like an extends whatever that dick pill is and whatever you're talking about.
Wasn't that already my idea?
Yeah.
A dick pill movie tie-in. I think that was
Thanks, guys,
Cronenberg's
for
idea.
listening to me.
Nobody was listening, Jacob. I'm sorry. We don't ever listen to each other. That's why we talk over
No,
each
we
other
don't.
like this. Ian, the thing that I like about your idea is the same thing that I hate about it. Ian, if I watch the same show 4 times in a row, I'm going to get really annoyed by it. But I think that that's actually the beauty of the point that would be so deep driving and political, that I think that is actually done by Cronenberg across movies, which is, hey, look, you've got a new era with the same shit. Congratulations.
yeah.
You didn't get anywhere. Oh, we
is
got
like
rid of these
Westworld.
old guys. Here's the new guys. They're basically the same. It's like watching the Star Wars sequel trilogy.
It's
didn't
like
we
Westworld.
just do this already once? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Oh,
did.
man.
Rough.
We got to
And-
I would love to see
and-
Cronenberg kind of.
But it's beautiful in a way. Like,
Eh.
hey, did we learn anything last season? No. You're all stupid and sheep.
I mean, I would love to.
And I'd
have
respect the
Cronenberg's
hell out of that in a
interpretation.
movie or in a show.
Yeah, I would love to see Cronenberg just like rip shit on like current Star Wars and just be like, yeah, that Obi-Wan Kenobi show, garbage.
Actually, Cronenberg takes on different genres. Would be a movie or would be a series in of itself. He just does even a 30-minute show. Just, I've decided that I'm going to do my version of this, but I'm going to make it either good or a lot worse than it already is. And I'm going to poke fun at it. I feel like he could do a good job satirizing stuff, and he's just not into it.
I think we could bring in Brandon Cronenberg's movie into this idea that I have at some point, where you know the plot of it. We could throw it in there somewhere. Maybe
Do it.
Crimes of the Future. I
Possessor?
haven't seen Crimes of the Future yet, so I can't say.
Mhm.
But anyway, let's go
Crimes
ahead.
of the Future will work really well.
I gotta see it. Got to see it. Anyway, let's go ahead and rate this. So like I said, this is my top 2 favorite Cronenberg films. It's a lot of fun. It'll give you existential angst. You don't know what's real and what's not. I mean, like basically, if you listen to the idea of it, basically like you really have no idea what's going on, and we really don't. I mean, like, there's people out there who will be like, oh yeah, I know this one thing to be true because I saw it with my own eyes. But like, how do you even? How much do you really trust your own eyes? I mean, like, look at me. I'm wearing glasses. My eyes
Okay, Joe
are
Rogan.
fucking worth shit, dude. um, by the way, Jacob, have you ever done DMT?
No.
Um. Anyway, yeah, it's like it's it'll give you dread and really like freak you out, but it'll definitely make you look at the world in a whole new way. Plus, it's very interesting. So I like this movie. I will give it 9 James Woods stomach vaginas. 100%.
That's too many stomach vaginas.
SNEM, how about you?
Y'all, hold up. I'm trying to hold up the stomach vagina. Who playing Rihanna in the background?
Yeah, what the fuck is that? Who's doing
That's possibly my wife. My cat has knocked open my door to the point where I can't close it anymore.
Oh, you got it, man.
That's professional.
Sorry, it's also a cat litter box room. That's what's professional about my studio. I don't know how many of you guys have litter boxes in your studios.
Hey, man, your studio's full of cat shit. Mine's full of bullshit. That's the same principle. Yeah,
I'm gonna see if I can lock them out long enough without it being cat meows that you'll hear.
that's cool, man. I like cats. You guys like
Yes, I
cats?
can definitely hear the music.
Cats are pretty cool, man.
So, what's your rating?
Love cats.
Oh, my rating. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, before I get to my rating, I just want to reiterate, like, cats. I used to have a cat, man. His name was Seamus, and he left me for another family. They renamed him.
That.
They renamed him
I love a
Cheeseburger.
cat.
But if
My
you
dog
they
loves
say
cats.
if you love something, set it free. And if you love Debbie Harry, then let her go to Pittsburgh to get murdered on camera. Or at least that's what you think if you're James Woods in this movie, which is completely ridiculous, unbelievable. I wish I could have seen it 8 years before I was born. It's off the wall. It makes me both horny and uncomfortable at the same time. It explores S&M at a time when it was just kind of a pre-internet S&M has got to be some weird shit, man. I can't even imagine. People just showing up and whipping each other. Like, what do you meet on the phone? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are these people?
There's a hotline for that. You could dial. It's a 900 number.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
He doesn't know what
I
that
mean,
means.
I never thought those were real. Every time I tried to call those when I was like 7, it was always like, "Hey, how you doing, big boy?" It was never somebody you could actually meet. I don't know. I only tried it once. Either way, this movie was great. I'm a fan of it. I like the special effects. I like the overall message of the influence of TV and media on humans. I like the giant satellite that would get random signals. Like when I was a kid, whenever I'd go to my grandparents' house, they had one of those big ass satellites in the backyard, and it would catch like some raw news feed and stuff where you'd see the fucking news anchors picking their nose and shit. And I really enjoyed that, and it harkened back on those memories. But more so for its overall statement and for the deep uh subtext using the names, the anagrams within the characters' names. I mean, Cronenberg is just such a genius for that reason. He just shows layers and layers, and he doesn't tell you either. In an interview, he'll say, "Oh, I just like to make shit look crazy." Blah, blah, blah. No,
kind of like David Lynch in that way.
yeah, he's playing a facade of he doesn't want to pick a side. He doesn't want to look political, but really he wants it to be up to the viewer, and I think I'm the one who figured it out. Okay, all right. I'm the one who knows exactly what he meant when he was making this movie, and everyone else has been wrong. All right. So that's not talking to you guys specifically, but more to like everyone. So For that
well,
reason,
now I'm personally offended that I was wrong in reviewing this movie.
So for that, for that reason, I'm gonna give it a I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Dildos disguised as doll-sized geishas out of 10.
Wow.
Did you,
Okay.
did y'all remember that scene?
Yeah.
You remember the scene? Did everybody implant that scene of the dildo that was geisha, and she took the geisha off the dildo, and now it's
right.
penis?
Yeah. Yeah. We got you.
We all remember that. Yes.
Daniel, how about you?
I would like to think that David Cronenberg has a restraining order against Mr. Ian over here. But aside from that, I assume it's just, regular, horror con interviews and stuff like that that led to it. And Ian was out there with his manifesto telling him what he meant by his movies, that David Cronenberg neither agrees nor understands the allegations leveled against him.
The court. What the courts say is just another arm of the facade that he leaves.
It's a suggestion,
and it's a part of his entire aspect of putting out movies. I'm sorry, you go ahead.
So I've got to go with this. This is not a fun movie. This is a interesting movie. It's a good movie. This is not going on the next time that I invite people over to my house, even in the background. I don't believe that it's very shareable. Ian was mildly traumatized when he was shared this movie in Ambush, and I think that it is a mildly traumatic movie. I don't find a lot of the scenes in this something that makes me want to watch it more. And Ian can attest to some of my watches of some of the harder cult classics or bad films from the past that we've reviewed, where it's like at a certain point there are types of scenes that will turn me off to a movie, and this one had some borderline ones. I absolutely got questions at a certain point. What in the hell are you actually watching? Like, you know that I'm doing this for the podcast. Like, yeah, but I can't tell what's going on anymore. Like, okay, that's very fair. And so I don't find it a good background movie. I find it entertaining from the storytelling background of I like a mindfuck. And I am a huge fan of visual effects. You will hear me talk shit about CG all day long. I don't do that. I don't like it. And I think that unless you use it very minimally in a film, you are taking away from the better art. At the end of the day, it is still a good movie. I still enjoyed watching it. It was not as enjoyable as previous times watching it, which apparently I might have it mixed up with another movie. That's fine. I'm going to give it a full...
Sounds as good as the time I watched that other movie.
Yeah.
Dude, don't step on his review, man. He's got it. I want to hear the number.
It's going to be a 7 out of 10. I still enjoyed it. It's going to be a 7 out of 10. Slaps to the face of the wrong lady.
That's relevant because like you thought it was a different movie all along, so you were like I'm
that
not
was me
enjoying
right
this.
there. I was
Videodrome.
Where was the head exploding? No.
Nice.
But
I like it.
That would also be my favorite mindfuck moment of it, just because it's a light level of it, but like he's clearly unhinged at that point. And it's like, oh, that set the ground. He has really lost it.
All right.
Great scene.
Cool.
That's a great scene for sure.
Yeah. Jacob.
Unlike Daniel, perfect date movie. Really gets the blood going. I mean, it's very horny. It really sets the mood for everything that's going on. I mean, you really couldn't have a better tantalizing experience, really. No, but in all seriousness, it's a great movie. Practical effects are still hold up to this day. Rick Baker's work is unparalleled. I mean, it set the bar for what Cronenberg could be. And I mean, he's still going to this day and he's still kicking ass. I don't think anything has reached the pinnacle of like what this or The Fly could be, in the same way that Carpenter's The Thing and even like some of his later films have even matched. But this movie still holds up, and it's still pretty relevant to this day, even in this modern age. obviously, like within, I mean, I feel like even Gen Zers won't understand it to the same extent with, you know, like VHS and stuff like that. But if you were to give it like a good, full, fleshed out remake, easily could still stand the test of time. But yeah, we'd definitely give it like 8 C&M hour-long Alex Jones rants out of 10. Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Nice. And that'll do it for this episode of Cold Trash Horror Movie Grind. Check out Jacob's podcast, Jacob and Reese versus Evil, where they review other horror movies. And
Every so often, last one we did was Scream. So, or Scream 5, I guess at this point.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I wasn't prepared for that number, but that's good.
Yeah, I mean,
I remember
you said we did Scream, and I was about to be like, oh, cool, that's fun, and then you said Scream 5. Anyway,
is it the sons of everybody killing each other, like the children of the next generation? Because that'd be cool. I would do that.
Just one.
But which one? Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
check out his
I'm gonna
podcast
have to watch it to
out.
find out. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then listen to Jacob and Reese talk about it. Anyway, so next week we're doing a movie called Mandy, which I've been waiting a long time to do this one. Why I never did it? I mean, I'm the one who controls what movies I do, but I've been waiting not only the entirety of this podcast, not only the entirety of my last podcast, but all 3 podcasts I've been doing. I've been like, I can't wait to do Mandy. And I never did, never found the right time for it until now. So I'm really looking forward to this review. This is a movie I'm I have a unhealthy obsession with. It's insane. Other Ian, S&EM, you have not seen it, so why don't you tell us what this movie is about based on the title? You're muted, by the way.
You're muted.
You're still muted.
Nah, I just fucked you that time. Yeah, dude, yeah. No, it's about a man who loses his dog. His dog dies of some kind of sad thing, and so he writes a song about it called Mandy, and it ends up climbing the charts. Everybody loves it, and it goes a little something like this: "Oh, Mandy, well, you came and you were Nicolas Cage's dog, and you took it away. Oh, Mandy." You know how it goes.
That's
So
actually the plot description to Pig, except for it wasn't a dog, it was a pig, and it was Nicolas Cage.
I just that
It's not really incorrect. It's bad. It's a bad interpretation, but it's closer to it than I would have expected.
It's closer to Pig than it is Mandy, but I guess you could say the same thing about Mandy.
Hey, what can I say? I'm just a big Barry Manilow fan.
Okay.
This guy.
I've got a clip for it. You guys want to see it?
Nope.
I'm gonna talk over it.
Me too.
Oh yeah, Ian shouldn't watch it. He should.
No. This one's fine. It
fine.
won't reveal anything.
No. I'm gonna go take a.
You're in my shirt! You're in my shirt!
Oh, that's Cage-tacular.
Love it. Hell yeah. So we're gonna do that movie. I fucking love this movie. It's the most popular movie from Spectre Vision. It is a huge cult classic, instant cult classic from 2018. And yeah, it's amazing. Anyway, so that'll do it for this episode. Definitely check us out on the Patreon, and you know that to look forward to next week. And thanks you guys for joining us, and we'll catch you next week. All right, take it easy.